guys real quick, something a little different. I know it's not my usual entrance, but thank you for joining me again for Carla's Kitchen Chronicles. Today I made a beef stew with no carbs, no potatoes, anything like that. I want you to try it, and it was quite delicious. I haven't been able to do my regular intro because I've been so busy, but thank you again for joining, and you all have a great day. All right, my friends, just a little highlight of my ingredients. There's a lot more going to this. Just a little highlight. I'm throwing a lot of stuff in here. I'm making Mother's Day dinner this year, as I said earlier. Guys, I had my pot on my Dutch oven pot on medium heat, and I'm using olive oil today because I'm trying to make my meals healthy. It's not that they were unhealthy before, but this is a no carb meal, and I'm gonna let this heat, and then I'm gonna brown the meat. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. All right, y'all, I think my oil is hot enough. Let's start browning these meats. All right. And these are boneless, what do you call it? Boneless ribs, steak or something. It's just me and Joey today. Mello's working till closing. So he pretty much. And here are the bones that I got to nice up my pot a bit. Some beef bones. I bought a pack and I put some in the freezer. I just needed a few pieces for this. So I'm gonna let these brown on each side, then I'm gonna take them out, and then we'll do the next step. Now remember, you're just browning, okay? You're not cooking it. You're just browning it, so because you're gonna finish it off, slow cook it in a crock pot. Okay? So we're just browning it a little bit more, and then I'm gonna do the next step. Right, so that first part is done. I turned the stove down even more because I'm gonna go ahead and saute the onions and the garlic. And you don't want to burn it. And as usual, go ahead and scrape those bits up. That little piece of onion been in the pot, so don't mind that little dark piece of onion there. Oh, lost something. All right. And mine dried out a little bit, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is add some more olive oil to the pot. I think that olive oil got away from me, but that's all right. I'm just going to brown this up for a little bit, and then I'm going to do the other stuff. Move it around. Let's go ahead and scrape that up. Like I said, the stove is on low because we don't want to burn this. I'm going to take this little piece out here that's been in the pot because I don't want it giving my food a certain taste. Alright. Alright, next I'm going to add the carrots and celery. And I cut them in big chunks because they're going to go in, of course, in the oven to stew. I'm just sauteing. At this point, you can also add some salt and cracked black pepper to these as much as you want. And I mean, I'm putting a lot of other stuff in here, so you don't have to dose it with all salt and black pepper. You're just going to put a little. All right. It's going to be delicious, and I'm going to let this just saute a little bit more. All right? All right, so you scrape up the bits there, right? You're going to go ahead and start scraping that up while you're sauteing that. You're going to scrape that up. And you know, if you're not watching what you're eating, like carbs like me, you can add potatoes to your pot. Not right now, but later on in the meal, you can add potatoes if you want to. This is just going to be our meal without that stuff. All right, for the next part, y'all knew I was going to do it right. Y'all know I was going to do it right. Oh, some wine. Look at that. All right, put as much or as little as you want, and that is optional. I know some people are not into that. And we're gonna stir that in, let it evaporate a little bit. At this point, what we're gonna add is the tomato paste. So let's go ahead and put some tomato paste in there. Put as little or as much as you want. It's gonna give it a nice color. Stir that in there a little bit. Let that get some cooking in. It smells so good already, y'all. So at this point, you go ahead and set your oven to 250 or lower. Depends on how long you want to slow cook it for. Because you don't want the meat to completely fall apart and cook real quick or nothing. So I might even just turn it down to 200. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some water. All right. I didn't add like fake beef. I'm not fake, sorry. I'm not gonna say, all right. I didn't add beef broth from the box. That's why I got the bones. Because I didn't want all that other stuff in there. And at this point you can add more salt and pepper if you like, but also remember your meat is already had with salt and pepper. We're gonna go ahead and put it back in meat in the pot. All right, meat's back in. Now if you have any juices like this from when you cook the meat and put it, just pour it in there. That's all good. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this start cooking, and then I'll add the rest. All right, if you notice I didn't put a whole lot of water because you know once it starts cooking, you know it will get its own water, and that's what I want. If for some reason it looks like it's gonna dry out, you can always add more. So at this point I'm gonna go ahead and stir in. I did a little fresh tomatoes and a little bit of red bell pepper, not a whole lot. This is my first time making this with all these ingredients, so I think it's gonna taste fine. And you can still add a little more salt and pepper at this point if you want to as well. And like I said, since we're not having carbs, we're just eating this. We're eating all this stuff it cooks with. So here I have my herbs, which is my thyme. I'm gonna spread it all out. Spread out my thyme. And this is a usual thyme from our garden. We have some scallions and some rosemary from our garden as well. And I'm gonna rest these on top. And there's another delicious ingredient that I'm gonna add as well. And these are called, what are these called again? You know what? I think they're called peperoncini, but I'll double check, because I always forget these things. I'm gonna put these in here as well. And this is optional if you don't like those. Guys, my oven is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and just do something like this here. Just, you know, get a little flavor on them like that. And then just, you know, I think this is gonna be yummy, especially if you want a nice little, I'm gonna taste the sauce, see what it tastes like. Good. I could do it a little more salt, but I am gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for it to cook in a little more, and I'll test it then. So, here goes the magic cover. And I'm gonna seal that nice. Seal all the way, and I'm gonna stick it in the oven. Actually let it cook for about an hour and a half before I check it. All right, folks, it's been about an hour and a half. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Look what's happening there. All right, I'm going to just do this. Then I'm gonna do meat check and taste check, and then put it back in and cook it for another hour and see if the sauce All right, so I think I need a little more salt. I'm gonna add a little more salt, maybe a little more pepper, not sure. It's up to how you taste and what you think it tastes like to you. Well, let me go ahead and check the meat, see how it's, see, it's not quite soft. So I also think I'm gonna go ahead and probably just put the oven now to about 275, not 300, 275. So I'm gonna add a little more salt and a little more pepper and just season it up a little bit, give it a little more flavor, and you can do whatever you want. And if it doesn't taste, you know, with the flavors that I want to be a little, and I'm using a this salt, so I guess that's why it doesn't salt it as much. It's not gonna be, and like I said, I'm gonna blend this in and I'm gonna stick it back in the oven. Folks, it's been about another hour or so, so let's see what's going on in here. Oh boy, looking good. The sauce looks good. Let's see the meat. The meat's good because it's coming apart. You don't want it too, you know, you don't want it too mushy. So what I'm gonna do is, because we're not ready to eat yet, I'm gonna put this on low and stick it back in the oven to the lowest point just to keep it warm. And you're all done.